Some politicians pocket millions from backroom deals, jetting off to private islands, while others can't even get a pothole fixed without begging for votes. Some control entire nations, starting wars or crashing economies, while others waste your tax dollars on pointless photo ops with a shovel and a hard hat. But here's the real question. What do they all have in common? Whether they're pulling the strings behind the scenes,
Ooh, mastermind,
or just struggling to stay relevant, they're all chasing the same things. Power, votes, and if they're lucky, a cushy pension. So, what separates the power players from the wannabes? What kinds of politicians are out there, and what do they actually do all day? Stick around, because I'm tearing it all apart in this video. Let's go! First up, you've got your local councillors, the small fry politicians who decide if your street gets a new stop sign or if that sketchy vape shop can open next to the playground. These are the folks you call when your trash hasn't been picked up in 3 weeks and you're ready to lose it. What do? They sit in endless meetings arguing about potholes, zoning laws, and whether the town fountain should have a 50 Zalosen upgrade or just stay a pigeon toilet. Most of their job is listening to cranky residents like Karen yelling about her neighbor's loud dog, then pretending to care while they vote on budgets they barely understand. The reality? They're not saving the world. They're just trying to not get screamed at in public. But it gets better. Running for local office is like a high school popularity contest on steroids except with more yard signs and worse haircuts. These folks plaster their grinning mugs on billboards, shove flyers in your face at the grocery store, and swear they'll fix that one intersection everyone's been griping about since the Nixon era. And the debates? Picture this 2 hours of grown adults bickering over whether the town needs a new dog park or if that's just flushing taxpayer cash down the drain. It's like watching paint dry, but with more passive, aggressive smirking and the occasional, I respectfully disagree, thrown in to sound civilized. Some of these councillors make a measly 20 Zelos a year, while others in big cities might pull 100K if they're lucky. Represent a sleepy suburb and you're broke. Run a chunk of LA, and you might actually afford your mortgage. Let's talk about a famous local mess, Flint, Michigan, 2014. The city council and state officials switched the water supply to save a few bucks, and boom lead poisoning for thousands of kids. The evidence. Tests showed the water was basically toxic sludge. Residents were screaming, "Fix this!" And the politicians? They shrugged, blamed each other, and held press conferences saying, "We're on it!" Spoiler, they weren't. It took years and a federal emergency for anything to change. How'd they dodge the fallout? Point fingers and wait for the news cycle to move on. Classic. Next, we've got legislators, your state reps and congresspeople. These are the ones you see on TV grandstanding about taxes, guns, or whatever's trending on X that week. They're supposed to write laws, but half the time they're just yelling at each other or tweeting memes to look cool. What do they actually do? They sit in committees, debate bills that'll never pass, and beg for campaign cash from rich dudes in suits. Behind the scenes, it's all about horse trading. You vote for my highway funding. I'll back your tax break for big oil. Courtroom-style drama. No, it's more like a reality show where everyone's bad at negotiating. And then there's the filibuster, because why make laws when you can talk the clock to death? A senator stands up and rambles for hours to delay a vote reading recipes, reciting the phone book, or even quoting Shakespeare if they're feeling fancy. It's like a political version of the floor is lava, except the lava's democracy, and everyone's just hopping around avoiding it. Oh, and don't get me started on the dress code. These clowns are stuck in suits and ties, even in the middle of a DC summer. It's like they're trying to sweat out the bad ideas, or at least look miserable, while they're gridlocking the country. These guys can make $174,000 a year in Congress, but the real money's in the perks of free trips, donor gifts, and that sweet lobbying gig when they retire. Stick around long enough to be a senator, and you're pulling clout worth millions. Ever hear of the Affordable Care Act? Back in 2010, Congress was a circus, Democrats pushing Obamacare, Republicans screaming it was socialism. The evidence, stats showed millions uninsured, but the fight wasn't about facts, it was about optics. They argued for months, flipped a few votes with backroom deals, and bam, law passed. How'd they do it? Dangled pork barrel projects like candy to get the holdouts. Politicians don't win with logic, they win with leverage. Now let's hit the big leagues: presidents, prime ministers, and executives. These are the ones who get the fancy planes and nuclear codes. Some promise world peace, others just want to golf and tweet all day. Their job? Set the agenda, sign laws, and look important while everyone else does the grunt work. They're not drafting bills, they've got aides for that. They're shaking hands with dictators, dodging scandals, and hoping their approval rating doesn't tank. A huge chunk of the gig is PR speeches, photo ops, and pretending they've got it all under control when the economy's on fire. But it's not all red carpets and private jets. These folks are never alone. Secret Service agents tail them everywhere, even to the bathroom. Imagine trying to take a quiet leak, but there's a dude in a suit outside the door, probably listening to make sure you're not plotting a coup mid-stream. And the motorcades, those endless lines of black SUVs clogging up streets just so the bigwig can grab a burger on time. It's like a parade, but with more sirens and a bigger tab for taxpayers. Pays a decent $400,000 a year for the US president, but the real payouts after book deals, speaking fees, and a Netflix doc worth millions. Take Trump's 2020 election mess. Lost the vote, claimed it was rigged, and had his team file 60x lawsuits, most thrown out faster than you can say, recount. Evidence, nada that held up in court. How'd he play it? Kept the base riled up, turned doubt into a rallying cry, and cashed in on the chaos with fundraising. Politicians don't need to win fights, they just need to keep the spotlight. Then there's lobbyists turned politicians, the slimy hybrids. These guys start as influence peddlers, then run for office to peddle harder. They're not writing laws for you, they're shilling for big pharma, oil giants, or whoever's cutting checks. What do? Schmooze at fundraisers, slip loopholes into bills, and act shocked when you call them out. The line between lobbyist and politician is so blurry, it's basically a smudge. It's like hiring a fox to guard the henhouse, then acting surprised when the chickens are gone and the fox is wearing a Rolex. And the kicker, it's all legal. They call it public service, but it's more like self-service with a side of campaign donations. Some make peanuts as elected officials, but the side hustles, millions, represent a tobacco company in a red state, and you're swimming in cash. Fight for a non-profit's cause, and you're eating ramen. Ever wonder how US gun laws stay so loose? Look at the NRA. In 2018, they dropped $11 million on lobbying, cozying up to politicians like Ted Cruz. The result? Bills stall, votes flip, and nothing changes. How'd they pull it off? Cash and fear scare tactics about, they're taking your guns! And fat donations to keep the right people in pocket. Politicians don't fight because they surf it. And don't forget campaigners and the wannabes who live on the trail. They're not in office yet, just begging for your vote. What do? Kiss ass, dodge questions, and promise stuff they'll never deliver, like free healthcare or a wall Mexico pays for. It's all speeches, ads, and viral stunts to look relatable. These days, it's all about the digital game, Twitter, TikTok, the works. Politicians are out here trying to be meme lords, dropping hot takes and dance videos to snag the youth vote. It's like watching your uncle try to dab at a wedding cringe, but sometimes it lands. Then there's the attack ads, where they sling mud like it's a WWE SmackDown. My opponent forgot to recycle in 2003! Real hard, hitting journalism there. Some blow $100 million on a failed run, others win on a shoestring budget of $50K. The difference? Charisma and who's gullible enough to believe them. Take AOC's 2018 upset. A bartender turned candidate. She beat a 20-year incumbent with grassroots vibes and a killer social media game. Evidence. Her district was fed up with the old guard. How'd she do it? Knocked on doors, called out the machine, and turned socialist into a flex. Politicians don't need cash, they need a story. But hold up, there's another crew you need to clock: political advisors. These are the puppet masters whispering in the big shots' ears. Strategists, pollsters, spin doctors tell politicians what to say, what to wear, and which baby to kiss for the cameras. They're crunching data, testing slogans like Hopi or AGA, and deciding if their candidate should hug a veteran or pet a dog to look human. Some are bleeding, heart idealists dreaming of change. Others are cold-blooded mercenaries who'd flip a school board race for the right price. Pay ranges from $50K to millions to advise a winning president, and you're golden. Botch a governor's race, and you're back to begging for gigs. Take Steve Bannon, love him or hate him, the guy's a chaos architect. Helped Trump snag 2016 with populism data and a middle finger to the establishment. His playbook? Stir outrage, troll the libs, and never back down. Did it work? Trump's got a star on the history walk, and Bannon's still raking it in. Advisors don't need charm, they need results. So, how much do these clans make overall? Nobody's might scrape by on $30K, Congress pulls 1174K plus perks, and top dogs like ex-presidents bank millions post-tenure. Here's a quick table of other types of pauses if you want the dirt: mayors, governors, diplomats, the works. Otherwise, we're moving on to the richest politicians alive. Meet Mitch McConnell, net worth around $35 million. Senate Turtle King, cashing in on decades of influence and a rich wife's inheritance. Then there's Nancy Pelosi, $120 million, thanks to real estate and her husband's investments. Vladimir Putin, unofficial billions, some say $200 billion stashed in palaces and offshore accounts. And don't sleep on Bloomberg, $82 billion from his media empire, then spent $1 billion to lose a primary. Power pays folk. But the real Goldman, life after office. These guys don't just retire to a rocking chair, they cash out. A book deals, speaking gigs at $500K a pop, consulting for shady corporations. It's like they've been hoarding political clout to trade for a private jet. And those charitable foundations they start. The Clinton Foundation raised billions, but Haiti's still a mess while the Clintons keep the lights on in Chappaqua. It's philanthropy with a side of self-interest. So, what do you think? Still want to run for office? Or would you rather not sell your soul to the highest bidder? Drop your thoughts in the comments about what you liked, what career you want me to roast next. As always, thanks for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe,
And let's keep this going!